everybody, it's Romania Black, and we are on episodes 9 and 10 of part 1 of Bleach, the 1,000-year Blood War arc! And we didn't quite get through volume 58 when we finished episode 8 last week, so we're going to be finishing up that, and I'm pretty damn sure we're starting volume 59. And as you can tell, I'm just a wee bit excited. I'm just a wee little bit excited! But we can't even get to that yet because we need to talk about some comments that y'all have left for episodes 5 through 8 over on Patreon and YouTube. So thank you all so much. If you have not liked this video already and you enjoy my discussions of Bleach, please give me a like down below. And also let me know what you think about this video with a comment. Subscribe if you want to see Bleach every Wednesday with me. That way you won't miss anything. But let's get into the comments. So John Smith, HN2VU, had this to say about Yamamoto and Sasakibe. Because look, I realize I'm a shipper. I like shipping, but I also will recognize that platonic soulmates do exist. And they said, I can't ever say that I saw Yamamoto and Sasakibe as a romantic pair per se, though no matter the nature of their relationship, the intensity can't really be described as anything other than soulmates. Yes, I always saw it as the platonic ideal of the samurai daimyo relationship, being as it is that Yamamoto is effectively the Oda Nobunaga of Soul Society in terms of myth, the biggest, meanest warlord that subjugated all the others and forged a lasting state, and a noble swordsman swearing an oath to fight for a seemingly cruel but principled warlord is one of the biggest tropes of samurai legend after all. I mean, do I think that Kubo was actually doing that in the Sasakibe and Yamamoto relationship? Yes. Am I going to ship it regardless? Yes. So... why not? But thank you, John Smith, for that lore and historical cultural reference. We appreciate it. Be Happy said, a little word on Yamamoto. It's crazy that he was so terrifyingly powerful that both Bleach villains, Yuvok and Aizen, didn't fight him head on at first, but schemed and used ways to trick him. I do think this says a lot for Yamamoto, that you had to find a way to like skirt around the edges in order to be successful, but... Be Happy also had a segment that we're now going to call the things that Romania Black has forgotten about Bleach over the last 15 years. Which is essentially when I forget things because there's so many characters in the series and my brain space has been depleted over the course of my lifetime. So Be Happy reminded me of that guy from Squad 4, Hanataro. Hanataro makes me think of Hamtaro. Hanataro is such a sweetheart. I love him. Your Be Happy also brought this up. Urahara studied Kirinji's hot spring technique and reproduced it in his training ground. So this is a fan theory that is often mentioned related to the subject. Did Urahara ever go to the royal palace? Especially that after Aizen was defeated, Urahara outright knew that thing Aizen was talking about when he was having a meltdown before being sealed is the Soul King. I'm going to say this. I don't know if Urahara went to the royal palace for one main reason, and that is because Kirinji also mentions Yoruichi. Also mentions Yoruichi. Now, could he have found out later? Sure. I don't know. I feel like Urahara would have meddled more if he'd gone to the royal palace. I feel like he would have meddled more. Has the Squad Zero been sent down before and Urahara met them, or did Urahara study Kirinji's techniques and just figure it out himself through trial and error? I would like to think the latter, but who knows? We might be proven wrong. Maybe we'll find out in this series if Kubo added anything. We'll just have to see. Look, Hiragi and Kensei's division, I'm just going to get their names wrong the whole time because I keep saying Hisagi because there's like 20,000 Hisagis I know. Poor Hisagi. Oh no, I did it wrong! It said, Be Happy said, poor Hisagi is still called Hiragi. I know like 3 Hiragis in different series I've watched on the channel. I keep thinking that Hisagi is the wrong way to say it, but I'm making myself be incorrect. So he promises he'll get rid of Kensei's 69 tattoo. Look, I'm just going to get them wrong the entire series and we'll just make it a counter. It'll be like the Krillin counter from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I did have to go back and look up because I love the Turn Back the Pendulum arc, but I always forget that Urahara was originally Division 12, which should not make sense because of all the divisions, Urahara would of course be in Division 12 along with Mayuri. It's the Research and Development Division. Of course he would be there, but my mind slips up. And so Kiryu was the Squad 12 captain before Urahara and Mayuri before her promotion to Squad 0. And Jack Witt added along that with it, saying that Hiyori was her beloved vice captain, and that's why Urahara replaced her, because she made his life hell. So there we go. Well, he replaced her because of that, and the whole holification thing happened with Aizen, and all that got involved. What can we do? But yes, that Kiryu was in Division 12. A lot of Shinigami that are rather important come from Division 12. Mayuri, Hiyori, Urahara, Kiryu, as well as Senjumaru. I'm like, interesting. Like all of these Shinigami in the research and development department, Akon has a legacy behind him, that's for sure. Jack Witt also added, and this is the final part I have here, talking about first of all, they had non-club outside trivia. According to the Bleach 13 Blades, I actually have that. I think I have that. I was like, oh my god. Tenjiro Kirinji was the one who invented Kaido, the healing Kido, which earned him the position in Squad 0. I just like that Kirinji is this healing prodigy, and he just looks so badass too. I really love Kirinji's character. His hot springs are likely inspired by the hells of Beppu no Jigoku, a popular hot spring onsen system in the Japanese city of Beppu, meant for viewing rather than bathing. The waters are so hot that it's steaming on a constant basis. And then the fifth of the total of 7 hells is called Shiraiki Jikoku, or White Pond Hell, similar to Kirinji's White Bone Hell. The 6th hell has the exact same name as Kirinji's Red Spring, which is Blood Pond Hell, being so called because the red-colored hot mud visible in the water, making said water resemble steaming blood. Kubo did his research whenever he was getting all this together, and we appreciate that about him. So then we had some club outside fun facts. According to Q&A number 303, now, Jack Witt had a lot more than this, but I'm just going to highlight my favorites because I think some of these are going to relate to what we're about to watch. But if you go to his comment on YouTube, there's a lot more you can see. So go check out Jack Witt's comment for episodes 7 and 8. According to Q&A number 303, Seppa is a skill passed down by the Shiba clan. It functions by disintegrating reishi particles in general and scattering them. Maybe we'll see something like that get brought up in the future. Q&A number 560 by Tyke Kubo on his fan site, Club Outside. Since becoming an official substitute Shinigami, Ichigo has a salary deposited in his Serite account. Ichigo himself is unaware of this, but Orihime will become aware when their child needs to get a savings account for their college future. Joking. But yeah, I would imagine that Ishin never tells Ichigo. He just tells Orihime, he's like, hey, by the way, we got this account. She's like, oh my god, awesome. We can have totally a lot of leaks for dinner. According to Q&A number 542, the Shikai form of Minazuki, which is Unohana's Zanpakuto, can alter its size, becoming as small as a puppy at minimum. And now I need to see puppy version of Minazuki. I'm not asking for much. Q&A number 598. Retsu is Unohana's birth name, given to her by her father, while Yachiru is the name she gave herself. I can't imagine what we're going to get into that. And then according to Q&A number 701, after Aizen defeated Hitsugaya in the Central 46 compound, the reason he did not attempt to do so to Unohana was because, I do remember this because I was obsessed with Unohana, while he was confident he could still win, he believed the attempt would be too exhaustive for him, more than he would like. Aizen was just like, not worth my time. I remember reading that, honestly, when Jack brought this up. I was like, I remember reading that because as a kid, when I was reading Bleach, I was like, why didn't he attack Unohana? Because is she that badass? The answer is yes. And also that Aizen was like, too much trouble, not gonna waste my time. Speaking of which, according to fact number 737, if a Shinigami loses their arm, the cutoff place becomes a new vent for the Reiatsu exit in their place of their wrists. But in return, controlling Raitsu becomes extremely difficult. It is for this reason that Yuvok criticized Yamamoto for not healing his arm. That makes more sense. Q&A number 586. There can be only a maximum of 5 Squad 0 members at any given time. Well, we can't break up the pentagon structure. We can't be doing that. Q&A number 548. Senjumaru used to be the leader of an unofficial inventors group in the Soul Society long before the Shinigami Research and Development Institute was founded. Mayuri was also her subordinate at that time. Of course he was. Of course he was. Mayuri's worked with some pretty interesting Shinigami after all. And then finally, Q&A number 814. Aizen was originally intended to be connected to the Quincy, and Aizen was named after the German word for iron, Eisen. See, if Eisen was related to the Quincy in the story, that would be kind of cool because then him and Ichigo could have this like connection and that would be kind of interesting. But it feels like overkill, and also Eisen is much more interesting to me as a Shinigami that's just like, whatevs, I'm amazing. And also he has the glasses and Ryukin has the glasses, too many glasses. Uryu has the glasses. Look, we can't be having a four-eyed society with the Quincy. We already have too many. So, but yeah, so these comments were all fan-freaking-tastic. Good for you all for giving me all of the insights. A lot of these things, the moment I read them, I was like, oh my God, I remember reading that. I had forgotten. And so it's really giving me a big boost of nostalgia. So thank you so much. That's amazing. Good for you. Really appreciate it. But yeah, we need to get started with episodes 9 and 10, you know? Anyway, I'm pretty excited. After episode 5, when I was told that I'd missed a post-credit scene, the moderators were like, Sue, there's a lot of post-credit scenes in Bleach. So from now on, I am just going to look ahead and see if before the little like preview with the cover page, if there's any extra scenes, and that's how I'm going to tell if I need to like watch or go on, because I have a feeling there's just going to be a ton of them and I don't want to miss one to see what gets animated. So anyway, I'm so excited. I hope you all are as well. We're not going to waste any more time. We are going to watch episodes 9 and 10 of Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War. And we are going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. And let's do it to it. Ugh. Okay. Now. Oh. Oh. Yep. You're now Squad 1 captain. No! Not gonna give you a break, Shunsui. One thing I love about Bleach is the fact that, like, with Shunsui's character, we've literally seen him throughout his entire life. We see him as a little kid with Yamamoto, being this precocious little kid that wants to know all these things. We've seen him being training with Yamamoto alongside Ukitake, and then we've seen him, like, being younger and like coming into the squads, and then we've seen him now as he's like kind of like he seems middle-aged as he's like it's interesting because he's slowly starting to like you can see the Yamamoto aspect about him and why he would be Squad 1 captain. You can just see it. I love it. I have a feeling what's gonna happen in these 2 episodes and what it's leading to, and I'm so excited. Oh, quit. You and Hashval, quit. Quit. I forget the one guy. The Kang. It was pointed out that Kang's design influenced Toji from Jujutsu Kaisen. The moderator's a big Toji fan and pointed that out, and I was like, no, that actually, I totally see it. I can see the influence. Although in my defense, I think Toji is way more interesting. Oh yeah! Wow. They went all out animating this. Renji! Oh my God, these guys. Yes. One of my parents is dead. Oh my God. Well, Ishin probably would. I feel like this is a reference to the guys from Dragon Ball Z that are in Hiffle. Oh my God. Ah. Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, old Buff Ichigo. I can't get over Cringy's flat ass. He is not kicked up. Renji! Yes! Ah! He's like, you gonna punch me? Yes! Oh my god! I love that he hangs the towel on top of his little beak. Oh, wow. He's like, well, you're not 100% though. He just like spits out blood. Oh my god. First we're gonna heal you, then we're gonna feed you. Oh, look how cool he looks. How badass. I feel like they're naked in the manga. Oh! Wow. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Ho-oh. Well, poor soy phone getting the scraps. I mean, Ichigo's always been fast. That's like one of his calling cards. Mmm. Speaking of which... Yes! Shut up! Nobody cares about you. Get him! Get him, Shunsui! Get him! Get him! Get these higher up losers. Yes! Yes! Get it! Get it! Get it! Why would you not want him prepared? Yes! Yes! Shut up! What's he gonna do? Revolt? Just tell him to battle Ichigo. He'll stay. After a day. It almost looks like the eye patch's glasses with a scar. Ooh. Come on, do it. Bring her in. Yes. Ah. This is what Cringy was talking about. No. Oh my god, bitch! Ah! Yes! Ah! I don't know if we're getting that this episode, though. Oh my god! Yes! It's like Rukia's husband and Rukia's husband's best friend. And Rukia's best friend. What? Why are you here, Cone? Is this how Urahara and Mayuri are keeping tabs? Did Urahara send this as a spy weapon and Mayuri was like, yeah, let's do it. Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god. Oh, ho, ho. Ha! Yes, the answer is yes. They're all crazy because they've been stuck here for a long time. Man, Studio Pierrot did not have to go all out to animate this scene of all scenes. The shadows. Okay, the fried rice looks amazing. Would eat that immediately. Luffy would die in here. We gotta eat food. Y'all need some iron. You've had a lot of blood loss. Kill it. Kill it with fire. Correct. My oh my. Oh, throw Urahara under the bus. Although, they have every right to not trust Urahara. You're gonna need it. Right. Ah! Ah! I just love Ichigo and Renji's bro adventures. Right? Oh my god. Goku needed friends like them. Oh my god. I can. Oh. Ew, what is that? What is it? I wouldn't trust it. Oh my god, Renji. Oh, leave him alone. Sweet Renji. Done already? And? Yeah, what's the deal? Right, yeah, what are we doing? We're sitting there stuffing our faces. But it's part of training. Is it fooling around? I love you can hear her in the background. Like messing with stuff. You can hear her tampering in the background. Yeah. Right, yeah. You literally had your entire blood transfused. Oh my god! That's insane! Right? Renji! Yes! I love Renji! Oh my god. Oh, the tempura! Oh my god! Oh! On a Soul King scale. They're gonna be like, who are you? Yeah, she's gonna go into this whole explanation. They're gonna be like, who are you? Right. Oh my god. Oh my god, Kubo. If only we could be so lucky. Grain King. If only one could be so lucky. Uh-huh. Ah. Yes. I love the guitar version of this. Oh, she created the Geekone. Look at her. That's how she fits in the R&D. And candies, get it? Makes sense. Uh-huh. Ah. Oh. Mm. The next task. Yes. There we go. Hoden. Oetsu. Right? Oh my gosh! Love it! The idea that he created the Zanpakuto is crazy. Crazy. Interesting indeed. Meanwhile, like, the Serite is like, ooh! Oh my god. Mukin. Oh my god, the lowest level of hell. Oh my god. And the idea that that's never been his Zanpakuto all along. I just want Aizen to be like in the corner watching like a hot dog. Just going, I planned this. You couldn't have gone to level 8? Ah. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say. Oh. Ah! Oh, the way her voice changed. Oh, her hair being down is amazing. Oh. Which is why her hair covered it up. And she gave him that scar. Oh my gosh! Oh! 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 Don't you cut away! Squad 11. The most notorious criminal. Yachiru. Ooh! I don't like this! Ugh. Why does Unohana have to die? Why can't you just, like, get somewhat dying? Ah! Oh, and it's, oh. Oh. I love that Asani had like the small smile there. Oh. Ah! Ah! Oh my god! Oh. Ah! Oh my god. She look she looks so good. Oh. 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 Damn. Oof. Ah! Oh! Oh my gosh! Her voice actress, hell yeah. Ooh. Mmm. In her eyes. Oh. Mmm. Oh. 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 Without ever beating you! Oh. Oh. How do you get the sword back? Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! I really thought he had, yes! Oh! 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 She looked amazing! She was great in this! Holy shit! Are we getting more? Is there an after credit scene? Nope, there is not an after credit scene, so we're gonna move on. Okay. Oh my gosh! Holy cow! Bangs are driving me crazy. I know, Huck. Yeah. I blacked out. I'll go back and read that scroll at the end. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be in the manga. Oh. Oh, ooh. Jesus. Yeah. Yes, yes, absolutely, 100%. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Well, what was the one? Yeah, that one was, we saw that the other episode. Do 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 do. Kubo has for his note in Volume 58, he goes, I've been catching bad colds every year lately, and it's taking even longer to recover. I've always been prone to sickness, and it's really starting to affect me. I hope I can finish the series before totally collapsing. Stop it. No! Because he did end up getting really sick towards the end of the series. My dude. We are just one episode close. Okay, so the small Quincy that's by Yuvok, I'm pretty sure that there is a Jujutsu Kaisen reference there. Definitely with the idea of Kenpachi, like, being near death when stuff to activate. Gege took a lot from that. Absolutely. My bangs are driving me crazy. They feel like they're greasy. I know they're not, but... We're one episode closer, y'all. We're just one... I'm gonna try to savor Unohana in this, but I have so many thoughts. Ah! Mm-hmm. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! The battle. Oh! That looks great! Several hundred years ago. I like that that was once a thing. Wow. Oh my god. The excess. The excess. Like you didn't notice the pile of corpses a second ago, girl? Uh. Mmm. Uh. Uh-huh. Oh, wow. Mmm. Yeah. Oh, damn. This is like if... We'll talk about it in the discussion. It's a Jujutsu Kaisen spoiler and I'm not gonna say it. Oh. Uh-huh. You're restraining your power unconsciously. Ah! We're gonna tie it to that. We're gonna make sure that's not a retcon. Mmm. Yeah. Yeah. You suppress your power limit. That's why they want her to die, because she's the one he adores. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. Oh. It looks kind of like Elle from Death Note there. Oh. Interesting. Oh. I love the way they draw her. Uh-huh. Yep. Oh. 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 Oh, bitch! Yes! Yes! I forgot! Yes! She keeps bringing him back! She's using the Super Saiyan method! Oh. Oh. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh. I love it. Ah! Shit! Ah! Oh my god! Ah! I waited years to see this! Ah! Oh my god! Ah! Just this Bankai, this pool of blood. Ah! Ah! Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Ah! Ah! Oh my god! Yes! Oh my god, they animated this so freaking well! Oh! Oh my gosh! Oh! 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 Yes! Yes! Oh. Oh, there can only be one. Mmm. Oh. And for it to be nurturing. To match with her being the Squad 4 captain. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. He's like, but I didn't want you to die. Oh! 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 Oh. Friends? Are we sure? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh. No! Boo! No! 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 Unohana! She's too powerful for this world! She's too strong for this world! She was too good for this world. Ah! Aizen knew it. We all knew it. Ah! Mm-hmm. I love that it's a female voice. Mm. Ah. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come off it. Come on. Come on. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. We're not going to get there yet, are we? We're not going to get there yet. Okay. Fine. I love they just keep landing on Cone. Oh my god. Squad Zero is just a bunch of millennials trying to relate to Gen Z. That's really what they are. Oh, Etsu! A bunch of millennials trying to relate to Gen Z. That is Squad Zero! Get out of here, Cone. Oh my god. Uh-huh. And that strange stuffed animal, too! The fact that Cone's gotten into the Royal Palace and Aizen couldn't is the best thing about all of this. Ah! The Blade God! What's up? Try places me. I can't keep up with the vibe! Vibe check, Renji. Vibe check. You guys aren't any fun at all. Is that an option? What happens if we do? Also, his puffer jacket is amazing. Very 2010. I'm not doing that! I'm not going to ridicule myself. Damn it. Oh my god, nice pose. Oh my god. Ah! Oh yeah, I forgot about her. Mara. She looks like Renji's sister. Looks like Renji's sister. Well, I don't know what to say. Cone has made it to the royal palace, and Aizen has not. Let that sink into your marrow. Let it sink into your bones. Ah. The honeys you saw earlier were swords. He's sword sexual, don't you know? Oh wow. Well, yes. Oh. Oh. Okay. One more time! Get Daft Punk playing on this! I don't make swords for losers! I need that on a bumper sticker. Nothing to be afraid of. Oh, wow. We're gonna make them look threatening. Yeah. Oh, ew. Eye mouths. Nope. The eye mouths are a big no-no. Nope. Those are gross. Hate those. Nope. No, not say no to the eye mouths. Some of them, if they're Donmai fans, make love to them. Lamonji and Weiwushi would thrive here. Oh my god. Because I said so, bitch! They're mad at you because you guys treated swords bad. You didn't love your blades! Oh. Huh. And funny, we're having this paralleled with Unohana. You just left her there at the doorway. Oh, bitch, no way. There is definitely an end credit scene. We ended that way too soon. Way too soon. Yeah. Yeah, way too soon. Sorry, I had to skip ahead. Oh my god! 3 days. Oh. Hmm. Oh. I love you use the term dumped. Ah, there we go. So we're building this up for you to go home and talk about your past. So, ooh, ooh, hmm, ooh. I won't fix him. Ooh. Oh my God. Convenient that they have such abilities. Mm. Without, yeah. Yeah. Oh my God! It's happening! Oh my God, 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 everything but the rain! Ah! I'm so sorry. I just like kicked my dog in the face. Oh my God, Huckleberry, I'm so sorry. I was like kicking my feet and he went, ah! It's like, I can't help it. I can't help it. Oh my God. I have honestly waited, like a long time, like at least I've waited 10 years to see that. Is that not, is that, I've also waited about 10 years to see what's going to happen next week. And when I tell you the whole reason I wanted to watch this is for next week, yes, yes, I'm going to be a giddy fool next week. You all have no idea. You have no idea what a giddy fool I will be, how I will become, because, yeah, that's too soon. It's too soon. We can't talk about it yet, but man, so we not only got the last chapter of volume 58, we got a good chunk of volume 59. Honestly, we did not get through volume 59. No. We have a few chapters left actually before we get through this. We only got about, let's see, we got one chapter of volume 58 that we're going to talk about here in a hot second. And then, let's see, where did we get to in volume 50? Volume 59, we only got to, here. We got through this much. We got about 2/3 of the way through volume 59, and then we stopped. So we still got a nice little chunk there. But yes, we're going to talk about that. Oh my gosh. It's really fun to go back through and rewatch these chapters being adapted, because I wish I could explain to you, and I wish you had known me back before I created this channel. But when I was reading Bleach, I had a massive fascination and obsession with Unohana. Like, Unohana, we'll talk about her when we get to her, but she was the one character in Bleach that had so much mystery surrounding her, so much intimidation. There were other aspects that I want to talk about her as well that I just love about her character. I am honestly torn, and I don't remember a lot about, I don't think she comes up, I think she's dead. I don't think she comes up anymore in the series. I'm very torn because I have so many thoughts about Unohana, but we need to dive into this and then get to it. The last chapter or so of volume 58 here in 3, 2, 1, start out the episode exactly. Honestly, they adapted this. Everything is adapted pretty much beat for beat in the manga. There's nothing cut out. There are extra things added, which we will talk about, but nothing's cut out. It's just everything is adapted entirely. And then they just said, why not we go ham on Unohana versus Kenpachi? And I'm just sitting here like, yes, thank you. Oh my God. So the opening chapter, chapter 520, which is called Killers Not Dead, which is directly referring to Unohana and Kenpachi, starts out with Poor Nanao. Poor Nanao, although I say Poor Nanao, Shunsui is not going to go to Squad 1 by himself, and he is going to have a woman with him, by God. Whether she be a beard or not, she's gonna be there. So, I said this in the reaction, but it makes so much sense for Shunsui to become the next captain. If you had told me in the manga as I was reading, like, who would replace Yamamoto if something were to happen? Let's roll through. Soy Phone? No. If Yoruichi had still been captain, maybe Yoruichi, I could see it, but she's too rebellious. She wouldn't. The thing is, the captain of the entire 13 court guards has to be someone who will, one, talk to Central 46. I could never. Yoruichi would walk up to Central 46, do this, and walk out. Like, no, that's never going to happen. So they have to be able to deal with Central 46, who are a bunch of assholes hiding behind Neon Genesis-esque billboards, which we'll talk about in a second. And then they also have to be able to keep decorum. They have to be able to be someone that can be a diplomat, and whether Shunsui likes it or not, he fits all the criteria. So it was not going to be Soy Phone. It was not going to be Rose, or at the time, who was Squad 3? Gin? No. It was not going to be Unohana, for sure. Although Unohana was strong enough, was not going to be. She, in theory, could be it, but in practice, she's like, no, I'm running this clinic and doing, she has all these side hustles. That's not going to work. Aizen would love to be the captain. Aizen would have loved to have been the captain. If you had asked me pre-Aizen betrayal, I would have probably been like, oh, I could see Aizen doing it. According to plan. No. And then Squad 6, who is in charge of Squad 6? Oh God, Ikomamura is 7. And then 8... Oh my God, who is all these squad captains? I am like, who was Squad 6? Okay, I want to 13 court guards in the original one. Who are our ones that are there? Okay. Oh, okay. So Gin was Squad 3, and then of course Gin left. Unohana, Aizen, Byakuya. I always think for some reason Byakuya is 8, but that was Shunsui. So yeah, Byakuya on paper could be like Yamamoto and keep up the decorum and everything. But Byakuya, here's the thing. Byakuya doesn't want to admit it, but he has just enough of a bad boy in him, like with the whole Hisana thing, that it would never go over. No. And also, Byakuya is not he's one to command presence. Like, he has a commanding presence, but he is not one to command other people. He'll throw some, like, snobby old school shade, but he's not going to boss people around. That's just not Byakuya. No. And then Komamura... No, absolutely not. Shunsui makes sense. Also, Shunsui is Squad 8, lucky number 8. It was Tosen. And Hisagi. And Tosen, no. Kensei, no. Hitsugaya, no. Kenpachi, no. Mayuri, no. Ukitake, no. So honestly, when I was first reading the manga, if you had told me who would take Yamamoto's position, Shunsui is like the shoe-in, except for Aizen. But that was, once Aizen had betrayed everybody, it was like, no, hell no. So that's where we're at. But yeah, it makes sense that Shunsui's like, oh, well, geez, it has to be me. Well, yes. Him being so melodramatic, we might have to say goodbye to now. Goodbye to Squad 8. But that's pretty much it. So yeah. Okay, so let's dive into this. We get the preview. We cut straight from that moment to basically Ichigo getting healed in the hot springs. The two guys that Kazuo and Kazuhiro, they remind me of the two guys from Dragon Ball Z that are in hell. It's called Hiffle in the dub, but it reminds me of the two of them. I feel like Kubo is making a direct reference to Dragon Ball Z, and I feel like Dragon Ball Z is referencing something else. So it's like a reference inside a reference. Kind of like Central 46. The way that they're held up with signs in front of them feels like a reference to Neon Genesis and Nerve, but that in itself feels like a reference to something else. So we're just getting like anime Inception going on here. I love Korinji. I freaking love Korinji. I love that he holds his little towel on his head. I love that he does that. I love it. They were giving him some Ken doll anatomy, though. I'm like, Studio Pierrot, you did absolutely incredible on some of this animation, but when it comes to Korinji's body, you gave him like Ken doll anatomy. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. But yeah, it's so funny to me. Bleach is more like the one series where there are like naked torsos so much in Bleach that I just don't even think about it anymore. I could see how some people be like, oh my god, the fan service, but I'm like, these guys have their chesticles out like 80% of the time. It's not fan service at that point, it's just the standard. Although we are going to talk about female fan service and Kubo. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Y'all knew it was coming. But I adore Korinji. I love how badass he is. I am a sucker for like the delinquent pompadour and like the badass, but he's actually like secretly a healer. Again, it's giving me Kuwabara vibes from Yu Yu Hakusho. I live for it. I just, Korinji's my type, basically. And I love Renji. Renji's kind of follows that type a little bit too, except could you imagine Renji with a pompadour? Then he would be Kuwabara with tattoos. But I do love Renji. He's great. And I like that they kind of preview. Also, that shot of him when they get sent by the two guys and they're leaving. And I'm going to get to that shot here in the anime because they made it look pretty damn good. But yeah, he sends them on their way. He's like, you guys are healed up. That shot right there. Peak attraction right there. Huckleberry, what are we doing? Okay. But yeah, and then he reveals his hand's in the hot spring because Ichigo punched it. He blocked his attack and immediately fractured his wrist without realizing that he was doing it. Now, he says here, I can see why Reo is obsessed with him. I'm going to give you a fair warning that I am not a big Soul King fan. We're not to the Soul King part yet, and maybe Kubo's done some changes to the Soul King between now and 10 years ago, but I was not a fan of the Soul King once we got to the Royal Palace. Before I was very intrigued and very curious. I have some of my critiques of Bleach's final arc have to do with the Soul King, so the furthest we can stay away from him for right now, probably the better. Unless, maybe going back and reading it after 10 years, it will come across better. Maybe it will. We shall see. But one thing that has not changed in 10 years is my view of frickin' Central 46. Central 46, so useless. I feel like their peak, Central 46 peaked in high school. Central 46 peaked during the Rescue Rukia arc where Aizen killed all of them. It peaked then. They were at their top of their game then, and that was the very beginning of the series. And since these other people have replaced them, it's all gone downhill. No. Central 46, get out of here. I love they have the audacity to... Why does it matter that Shunsui has 2 vice captains? I mean, Shunsui is very smart. Shunsui is like, you know, he's not quite on Yamamoto's level. He's also kind of like, hey, I don't want to do all this work. So he's like, he's like, oh gosh, what's his name? Okikiba. He's like, Okikiba, hey, you're still alive. Do you want to be the pseudo guy in charge since you know everything about Squad 1? Cool, great. Nanao's coming with me because I need her here for emotional support. I need my emotional support vice captain, and I need Okikiba to take care of things. We good? Thanks. Awesome. Grand. I love Shunsui. He's like, nope, I am not. You all made up the rule about vice captains in the first place. We can amend it. It is totally fine. I also agree with Shunsui that teaching Kenpachi to have his Zanpakuto and be able to activate it is critical. It is kind of astonishing to me that Zaraki has been able to do as much as he has been able to do without it, with just a broken sword, like a little measly chipped up sword. He's been able to do all that this whole time. Crazy talk. So Shunsui's like, look, if the Quincy come back, we're kind of screwed. We don't have Yamamoto. We need something at least to balance the beams a little bit. And Kenpachi's like the one thing we have accessible right now that we can do that with. Now, with that being said, the idea that they are sacrificing their Captain 4, who's their main healer, is a choice. It's a campaign choice. It is a Dungeons & Dragons campaign choice. We need our warrior to be at the top of their game. Are we sacrificing the mage to do so? I guess we're sacrificing the mage to do so. The good news is that Asane is pretty strong as a healer, and Kubo knew in the wings that Orihime was there. Kubo was like, okay, Hinataro, got it. Isane, got it. Orihime, she's gonna be there. Like, we're gonna be fine. Yeah. But man, this was such a revelation. The idea of finding out that Unohana was the first Kenpachi. Let me tell you, I don't know if you all were in the trenches at the time. If you all were in the manga trenches at the time, I did not see. I mean, there have been debates about Unohana being much more of a threat than she let out, because it's been hinted at since the very beginning of the show that Unohana has this kind of like dry, dark, macabre sense of humor. And so a lot of people, like, the fact that Mayuri wouldn't mess with her said all that it needed to say. It was like, okay, if Mayuri's not messing with her and Aizen's not messing with her, then there's something going on. But I have been, and that's the end of volume 58, by the way, like a third of the way through this episode. I have been obsessed with Unohana since I started watching the series for a number of reasons. One, she seemed badass. Two, I'm a sucker for a healer. I like a mage. If I were in a party, I would be a mage, probably. I'd probably be a mage, or I wouldn't be a warrior. I would have something to do with magic. I'd be able to do something to do with magic or healing. That would be my role. But I love her as a mage. I love her as this like badass woman that everyone is scared of. I love she's intimidating. I also love that of most of the female characters that Kubo has drawn, she is like one of the few that's not sexualized. And I'm like, thank you. And what I mean by that is, y'all know, Kubo, I mean, Hirio, like Hikifune, in this one, like, Kubo loves to draw a big old pair of titties out there on the screen for everybody. And just Juna's busting out all over. And that is how he does. Or they have like it's like A cup or triple G. There's like very few in between. And for Kubo. And good for him. Glad he wants to draw that. He has every right. Oda in One Piece, every woman looks practically the same. I have no right to complain. But Kubo, my biggest complaint about him as far as like some of his drawings is that some of the shots, especially later on in the manga, get a little bit objectifying. And as a female reader, I was like, did we need to? Did we? But with Unohana, it was never like that. Like, there was never those moments, because you just looked at her and you're like, no, she would come at you through the page with a knife if you tried to like view her that way. And I kind of loved that about her character. I love she was no nonsense. I love she was a healer. I love that she was mysterious. There was something, her and Yaruichi always had like an air of mystery about them. And I kind of love that. I love that you didn't know what to expect from them. There was always part of their past you didn't understand. So when I tell you that we, as a fandom, I remember back in the forums, we're like, okay, everybody's scared of her. She's a healer, but there's something about her. Like, you know, was she like a warrior in the past? And like, did she have an accident and then changed her ways and became a healer? Like, those theories were roaming around in the forums, like to try to like justify why she was the way she was. But when we found out in the manga she was the first Kenpachi, the fandom was like, yes, of course. And then it's like, she trained herself to heal herself so she could keep fighting. We're like, like that, like her relation to Korenji, like all of that. It suddenly made sense. And it was just like people were bowing down going, yes, Kubo. Yes, give us badass Unohana. And then 3 chapters later, he killed her. And we were like, no. We didn't want you to do that. We didn't want you to do that. We didn't want you to go that far. But we need to get into this. I love this cover. This cover's awesome. It's so great. She needed to be on the cover. I'm pretty sure she's on one of the earlier covers. I'm pretty sure. I think maybe she is. No. Maybe, I don't think she is actually. Byakuya's on cover for volume 7. I'm looking at the volumes on my shelf right now. Zangetsu, we'll get into that next week probably, is on cover 8. And then, the Shibas are on 9 and 10. Imagine that. And then Renji, Aizen, Kenpachi, Hinataro. Hinataro made the cover. How did Hinataro make the cover? No, he didn't. It was, oh God. Oh, y'all know who he is. He's on the cover of volume 14. Who is on the cover of volume 14? That's going to drive me crazy. Volume 14 Bleach cover character. Oh my God. Who is on the cover? I'm like, oh my god, y'all know who this isn't it Hanataro? I feel like it is Hanataro. But maybe not. He has the pills and everything. I think it is Hanataro that's on the cover. That's the closest we get to that. Anyway, the manga has everything adapted into the anime episodes. There is one specific difference, and that is in the manga, we go through everything with Kiryu, and then we immediately go to meeting Oetsu. And then when they throw them down into the pit, that's when they start fighting the Asauchi, that is when we cut back to Unohana. So they chose to like vary up the pacing a little bit. I didn't mind it. I thought that the way that they rearranged things worked just fine. It's apples and oranges, honestly, of which works better. They broke up the zaniness with the Kenpachi and Unohana moments. It's just apples and oranges. I think you can like one or the other. If you like one versus the other, let me know down below. I don't know which one I like better. I'd have to think about it. One thing I do know for certain, two things. One, anything involving Renji and Ichigo together on an adventure, I would watch for days. They give me such bro vibes. I'm not an Ichigo and Renji shipper because I ship Renji with Rukia and I ship Ichigo as Rukia's platonic best friend forever. And so thus, Ichigo is his best friend's husband's best friend. So I'm like, I support Ichigo and Renji are bromance friends for me, BFFs. I would watch them do so many things together. I just feel like they're not necessarily foils for each other because Renji and Ichigo share a lot of similar traits, but Renji thinks about things a little bit differently than Ichigo does, so they create this kind of interesting banter, like when they're eating the food and the conversation they have there. It's so much fun. The second thing that you all need to know is that I do not like Cone. I don't hate Cone. Let me phrase this way. I find him cringeworthy is not the word, and it was not a word back when I was reading the manga, but I find Cone is like a level of farce with Kubo's humor that I'm like, no. It kind of reminds me of Mineta in My Hero Academia. There's a character named Mineta in My Hero Academia where I feel like Horikoshi takes all of his like perverted weird humor and he gives it to this one character to enact, and so if you don't like it you can just hate this one character. And so that's how I feel about Cone, because Cone is kind of perverted and he's fine. Again, the Cone fans are going to rally and be like, how dare you hate Cone, but he's just kind of, I will say he's a little obnoxious. His humor is not my style, but one thing I find so damn freaking funny that I cannot get over as I was watching this episode, I was like, oh my god, Cone, our little tiny Kampaku, his little like plushie that's filled with his spirit. Cone has made it to the royal palace and Aizen has not. I just picture Aizen's like just a hot dog skewered to a plank and he's just like, what? And then Mayuri and Urahara are down there in the underground prison being like, so, did you know that our invention is in the royal palace and you're not? And he's just like, I hate all of you. That concept is so freaking funny. If you told me before getting to this arc, oh, Cone's gonna make it to where the Soul King is, I'd be like, no, he's not. That's fake. That is a fan edit. That's Photoshop. That's not real. Yeah, sure is. I'm just not a fan of Cone. I want to toss him into a fire. And I don't say that about many characters. But yeah, just look at them. I love Renji and Ichigo. They're just little bros having a good time. And then we have Kiryu, and she's like, I'm going to make you a ton of food, right? And Ichigo's saying there's nobody but idiots in this place. I'm like, there is a little bit of you that when you read these chapters, you're like, man, these people are all highly eccentric and kind of weird like Urahara. They're either hiding some deeply seated trauma, which is probably true, or they're just insanely powerful and this is how they deal with the world. Both things can be true at once, right? But look, Studio Pierrot did not have to go all out animating this buffet scene because it is not in the manga. They like immediately they see her and then it's like a piggy party is what chapter 521 is, where they're just eating out. And like, this is it. It's just like 2 panels. And they just went all out making this amazing food, which good for them. Good for them. And just, I do love Kubo giving Renji and Ichigo like the super bags under their eyes to show how stressed that they are throughout all of this. He's like, this is great. But yeah, it felt almost like filler, but it really isn't. And I do understand that they're like, okay, you guys just had all of your blood drained from your body and transfused back into you. Y'all are starving. Y'all are also going to be facing like a Zanpakuto, like, army here in about 2 minutes. So you might as well eat up and get your strength because you're going to need it, you know? But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. They end up eating all the food, and then Ichigo has this little heart-to-heart conversation with Renji, which is pretty good. Also, just point of fact, is that little worm that Renji's about to eat, is that an influence that Gege used for Jujutsu Kaisen? I'm just saying. I'm seeing the influences everywhere, and it's sort of insane. But yeah, Ichigo brings up, he's like, you know, is it right that our friends are training and we're just sitting here stuffing our faces? And Renji's like, well, yeah, this is our version of training. We're helping out whatever way we can. So, you know, if we don't eat, we're not going to heal up, and then we can't be of service. So it seems like we're living the lap of luxury right now, but we are doing this for a reason. We're not just goofing off, right? And then I like Ichigo being serious. It looks really good. And then, of course, she comes in. That giant lobster bowl's crazy, though. Yeah, Kubo, my dear. I don't mind the fact that the idea that she gets skinny whenever she eats all the food. Horikoshi took this concept as well in My Hero Academia. There's a hero called Fat Gum. It's the same concept, only, well, he's kind of sexualized, I guess. Not really. Not like this, though. I mean, I don't know. We can debate that in different variances, but yeah, I mean, obviously if her robes, if she lost a bunch of weight, my thing is she lost a bunch of weight, but the boobs stayed. That doesn't always happen. If only every woman reading this is like, wow, if only. So I do love this one panel where she's like, come on, here's dessert. And Ichigo goes, gasp, who are you? These two dodo heads. She's like, I have to stay fat as I can or I won't hold up. And it comes to be revealed that every member of Squad Zero has an important contribution that they have made to the Soul Society. Her contribution, because at first I was like, okay, she was in the R&D division. She was in Division 12 with Mayuri and Urahara. There has to be some R&D aspect, not just the food, but there has to be something else. She created the fake bodies like Cone. She created the Geekon. Yeah, the temporary soul. She created it. That's crazy. So, which would make sense because it's the idea of feeding a different type of spiritual pressure. It goes with her motif. She did it with the soul candies, goes with the motif. How would Urahara have had access to all of those? Well, he became captain of the division that she used to be captain of. So he had access to the technology. So it all adds up. One thing I do like about the Squad Zero part of the manga is all of these little things that people had been asking questions about the entire series. Kubo's like, here's your answer. Here it is. See? Now, there were some people in the fandom forums that were like, you know, did he just make these characters up to give it an excuse of why it existed because he forgot about it and didn't actually explain it? That is left up to interpretation. I don't know. I do love the concept, though, of Oetsu, who has created Zanpakuto. Love the concept of that. Love Cringy creating the hot springs. Love tying all these things together. I think it's creative. I think it's fun. Of all of Kubo's like late stage world building, I think that this kind of makes a lot of sense. Now, what the other woman and the main guy did, I don't remember, to be honest. So we're going to find that out as we go. But yeah, so then you're going to go to Phoenix Palace, Phoenix being reborn, haha. And then we're going to meet the guy who created the Zanpakuto. So anyway, we come to find out, after rereading the manga to this point, I'm like, Mira is his Zanpakuto, isn't she? She's his Zanpakuto. I think I had forgotten that, but I'm like, I think she's his sword that's just been personified. So they end up in the manga, they go straight to Oetsu's. He is just as ridiculous as the anime portrayed. He's literally a millennial trying to appeal to Gen Z. Let me tell you, that puffer jacket, two things about that puffer jacket. One, it is very 2010. the fashion statement, I was like, everybody had those puffer jackets in 2010. So the fashion statement there. Kubo was always a trendsetter. And two, I remember when this came out, people were so excited because it was like, oh, we can cosplay as the captains without having to make a robe. Look, I'm not attributing this as being inspiration for it, but I feel like this in one aspect and Kubo's creation of the squad members having like functional clothing be part of the attire probably in some way contributed to like the, what do they call it in Disney? Is it homebounding? Where you like dress up as a Disney character, but you're not like totally dressed up. It's like modernized clothes. I feel like there were a lot of people after this came out in Bleach that realized, and they probably realized it before. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they realized it decades ago. But I just noticed a spike after this came out of people realizing, oh, we could dress up like the court guards without the robes. We could just get like a white jacket or a white denim jacket and do this and make it work. Like, I'm sure the concept had been there long before, but there was a spike in that after Oetsu had been introduced. Also, Kubo just wanted to draw women because later on, there's like a little post-chapter thing where he's like, all the male workers are in the back. Kubo's like, I don't want to draw them. He's like, I wanted to draw big-titted ladies. There is one woman with a small bust in the very middle, so we can't say that he is showing diversity. But yeah, Kubo just wanted to draw beautiful women. I mean, I can't blame him. I can't say I blame him, right? I do really love that, again, Oetsu has the Ishin vibe of I'm going to act really goofy and stuff to mask how powerful I am. And Ichigo should be used to it by now. He's grown up with a man that does exactly this, right? Even when he gets him to like high five him, he's done exactly that, right? And I would go to it right now on the series, but also we're about to get into Zarok, like Kenpachi and all of that. So, get past this. Yeah, no, we're down in Mukin. But anyway, so yeah, he's like, do you want to go home? My favorite part about this entire exchange is when Ichigo, he's like, I don't like this guy's vibe. I don't want to do this. And Renji's like, come on, we don't want to go home. Just go. Like them trying to talk each other into it. And when he does the handstand, I love that Ichigo's like hell, we're going to do that. And Renji's like, calm down. We got to do it. And he's like, I don't want to do it. He's like, nice pose. Super cute. So then, yeah, Mira, I'm pretty sure she's his Zanpakuto. We will get confirmation of that by the end of the season. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, and I love he just calls Cone this strange stuffed animal. Like, this is just totally normal. That this I'm surprised he didn't kick him out being like, you weren't invited. Like, kicked him out of the royal palace. Again, Cone has gone to the royal palace. He has been further to see the Soul King than Aizen Sosuke. I want you to let that sink in. I want to let that sink in, the ridiculousness that Cone has been further than Aizen Sosuke to getting to the Soul King. I need you to understand how ridiculous that is. I don't think we're talking enough about it. But yeah, he says, all those honeys you saw, all them honeys, they are all Zanpakuto. And he's like, you all have been too mean to your Zanpakuto, so we're going to let you figure it out here in the pit. I do think there could have been a little bit more explanation of what they were doing in the pit. I wondered if they were going to explain that a little bit more, and they don't. But at least not in the sense of, like, what is fighting with the Sauchi going to provide. Maybe if we look back in this, we'll see. I do really love, this is one of the cover pages I really enjoy the most, and it's Kubo has really good winter fashion. So Ichigo and Renji in their winter fashion. Love that. You can see behind him there's Urahara, Orihime, Ishin, Rukia, Chad, and Ishida are all like in the snowmen. Super cute. Love it. But yeah, so he's like, they are the ultimate Zanpakutos that can become anything. The Asauchi. So essentially, Words of Origin is here, and it's basically the idea that you're going to fight these things. I assume it was you're going to fight these things until one of them decides to become your Zanpakuto again. In order to create their own Zanpakuto, they eat and sleep with their Asauchi. They imprint their essence of their soul onto it through endless training. It's me who creates every one of them. I am the Blade God. And he's like, embodiment? Yes, yes, yes. So close, so close. It's a bit different, but that'll do for now. What's more important is that they're angry with you and the way that you use your Zanpakuto. It's something more fundamental. Have you been using it as a tool? Have you been interacting with it as a subordinate? Have you been relying on it like a partner, as a family member, as a friend, as a superior, a junior, pet, acquaintance, mistress, lover? Give me a break. It makes me feel like the Zanpakuto filler arc it's literally the only filler arc that I watched and enjoyed, but I feel like it was a great preview to this because everything he talks about and what the Zanpakuto mean and part of your soul and who you are. Like when he says, you know, a lover or mistress, I think of either Urahara Zanpakuto or I think of Shunswee's who takes on like a female persona. Like I feel like those are tied to it. Or even Kenpachi's! Although I wouldn't describe that as a lover, but like a friend. He's like, give me a break. This is how they feel about you. Who's superior, a Zanpakuto or a Soul Reaper? I do think that anytime Kubo replaces the eyes with mouths, it is insanely creepy, and I don't like it. I'm like, that's so creepy. It's impressive. I like the design of it, but I don't like the icky vibes it gives me. But yeah. So then, meanwhile, while they're fighting the Asauchi, we're going to backtrack to Muken. I really wish we could have just gone to where Aizen was just like on a slab like a hot dog watching them fight, being like he slowly goes and pops some popcorn in here. That'd been great. But yeah, damn. They just decided, Studio Pierrot's like, all right, we've got like 3 chapters. We're going to do this. We're going to give you a fight. We're going to give you a hell of a fight. And so Kenpachi showing up and saying, one of my favorite shots is he's like, you know, criminals, like we're basically criminals. That shot there, when she turns around, they did not, I will say, it's good, but the shadows does not show off her damn face there. She's incredible. Like that shot, I just immediately was like, this had been hinted at for 10 years. This Unohana had been hinted at for 10 damn years. And we finally got to see her go all out and be a Kenpachi and be a badass warrior. I freaking loved it. And the fact that she carried her hair in the braid in front of her to hide the scar that he gave her so he wouldn't repress himself even further. Oh my God. Ugh. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. They did not have to animate it this as well as they did. They didn't have to add all that they did, but they did. They did it for us. I'm so good. The only thing I will say is that when we had this flashback as Shunsui is explaining, now, to be fair, in the manga, it's literally just like a panel. And then there's just a bunch of blood and Shunsui's explaining it. So they did add more in the context from the manga, but they did just reuse the animation that we saw a few episodes ago. So it would have been cool if they'd added a little bit extra of new animation. But I cannot complain because this looks so freaking badass. Oh, I gotta take it back. Poor Asane, though. I felt for Asane. I felt for her. Chapter 524 is the drop, which is what episode 9 was called. And then Asane gets the notice from Unohana. I wish we could have read it. I don't know if we get to see what it said inside. I don't know if they're going to show us that in a future episode or not. I wish they would. And then Yachiru sees, Yachiru, he named her Yachiru. Having the eye patch from Kin-chan. I'm going to keep my mouth shut about Yachiru for now. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But yeah. So, when you find out, because this whole time he's battling her, right? When you find out as they are battling and what an incredible battle it is. Like just, oh my God, the shots. The fact that Minazuki is like the curved sword that looks like the moon. But yeah. When he says that you've changed from the person I admired, and she's like, how dare you admire the enemy in midst of a battle? I'm like, the thing that gets me is when she stabs him through the throat, and then you wonder if it was all a dream, and then you realize, no, she's killing him and bringing him back to life over and over again down there. That's wild. That is wild. But yeah, I want to see, do they show us at the end of this episode? She just looks so good there. She looks so freaking good. Like, no wonder Aizen wouldn't mess with her. Of course Aizen wasn't going to mess with her. He's like, nope, too much trouble. Too much trouble. Not worth my time. But yeah, her stabbing him through there. She looks so great. I could just admire this episode. I really like this one shot here where her eyes are like lidded, where they're like half open, half closed, and she's like looking up at him through like these half lidded eyes that her eyelashes are covering. It's so eerie. It is so eerie. I absolutely love it. You get it in the manga, but the anime kind of brings it out even more. And so then she talks about, we're going to get to next episode, episode 10. She talks about how her sin is essentially that she caused him to repress his strength. So, yeah. So a few hundred years ago in the Rukon district, she was just out killing people because that was a thing. She was like, yeah, I just, I do like chapter 525, which is where episode 10 starts. It's called Edges. And I like the shot of Kenpachi as a kid with, again, Jujutsu Kaisen. I feel like Todo is influenced by Kenpachi a little bit. And I feel like Unohana maybe influences a female character in that series. I'm not going to say her name in case if you haven't watched the series, but I feel like she influences that character quite a bit, including their relationship, right? But yeah, Kenpachi's like, man, I keep losing consciousness. And I'm like, no, she keeps reviving you from the dead, dude. You just don't realize it. So in the episode, he talks about being like, man, you must not have been very satisfied. There's this pile of corpses here. I like that she's like, how long's that been there? I'm like, girl, you couldn't smell? I guess the rain keeps the smell from the stench from being super crazy. But what a pile of corpses. That is a pile of corpses that Erwin Smith would have been envious of. And then we see Kenpachi, this little gremlin. It was love at first sight. I don't know how I feel, and you all will have to tell me about it down below. I don't know how I feel, because on the one hand, I've kind of always viewed Kenpachi as like having this asexual vibe to him. Like he's just really not into anybody sexually. He's just into battle. He's battle sexual. And with Unohana, I kind of always felt the same. Maybe that's why I gravitated towards her as a character. But if you told me that you shipped Unohana and Zaraki Kenpachi, I could see it. And there was a part of me that wants to ship them. The only thing that stops me is I'm not a big fan of... It kind of creeps me out when it's like the one... Character A was a child when character B was an adult. And then character A grows up and character B is like still an adult. And they're like, well, now that you're old enough, I can pursue you. And it's like, eh. But I think it works for these two because that's not how their relationship is. It's a lot deeper and kind of, it's varied quite a bit. But that was kind of my issues with Memoirs of a Geisha. I don't know if you've all seen that film, but that was like the only thing keeping me from truly supporting that ship. I was like, oh, he was like 30 when you were like 14. No. But I don't know. Anyway, there is no doubt in my mind though, that Unohana was in love with the concept of who Kenpachi could become and his potential. She felt like I was bored. We were both searching for somebody to fight, and we satisfied each other's urge. And you stabbed me. I was unexpected. You stabbed me in the heart. Shot through the heart! Like, literally, Unohana, by this kid. Again, I also like that of all the female characters, Kubo does not sexualize Unohana. He does not show her boobs hanging out all over. He doesn't show, like, her, like, torso topped over. No, she is respected. She looks respectful in this, right? The only difference was only you learned the pleasure of fighting on the edge. That was my sin. You must have been ecstatic. I was the first enemy you encountered who rivaled your strength. I love that as they're fighting, she's going through this history of them. And God, it looks so good. It looks so good. The sparks coming from their swords. I wish it would lighten up a little bit, but no, she looks amazing. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. She's like, you're restraining your power while in battle. Listen, again, when we tell you, she's like, I was weaker than you. She's like, you finally found somebody you could fight, and you wanted to keep fighting me. And so you restrained yourself so that we could keep battling one day. And I let it go on, and I let it happen. So I will say, there were some people who were kind of on the fence in the camp of what Kenpachi does here. Well, what Kubo does with Kenpachi's character. People were on the fence in the forums at the time where it was, on the one hand, people were like, oh my God, that explains everything. It explains why he, like, lost to Ichigo and why he barely beat Nanoitra, which I haven't thought about Nanoitra in ages. They're like, that's why he like barely beat him and why he did that, because he's been suppressing himself. And then there was another camp that was like, Kubo's trying to retcon and make sure that there's not a plot hole, which I'm like, nah, there's plot holes in this series. So you don't need to do that, Kubo. I kind of want to believe that it's the idea of, because I feel like Kubo's been waiting the entire series to like do something with Kenpachi. So he's like, well, how can I make this work? And so here we are here. I do love this page where she's just basically saying, she basically is like, Kenpachi, you're a Saiyan. You keep coming back stronger than you were each time you about die. You keep like getting away from that edge. Each time you about die and get brought back from the dead, you start to become a little bit more like your former self, like who you used to be. And she's like, this is why. I love how she looks there. I love how she looks there. Where she's like, this is why I kill you. She's like, that is why I will heal you again and again until you return to what you really are. So surpass me and reach unlimited heights. She just looks so good there. And even if it takes 800 or 1,000 times, that's why I'm going to heal you until you go back to the way you were. It's so freaking good. I'm so torn about this because on the one hand, it's like Highlander. There can be only one. There can be only one Kenpachi. And they've let it slide all this time because they've not needed to have him be unlocked and unleashed as Kenpachi. And now that they do, it's like, okay, Unohana, it's got to be one or the other. On the one hand, I get it. I get why she has to die. I get why she has to sacrifice herself. My thing is, we waited all this time to see her and finally get the mystery solved with her. And Kubo was like, well, she's kind of really OP, so gotta go. I was like, no. I was like, we just got to know who she is. You can't kill her off yet. It felt too soon. It felt too soon. And so then she's like, go on and surpass me. I love how she looks in this. She looks so freaking good. And then when she's like, guess again. And pulls back. She's like, you of all people should know why I mastered Kaido. I do love that shot has always kind of like been like, what are we doing? And she's like just healing herself with like the green from Minazuki. That part always like, I wanted to see it animated. It looks so freaking good there. It looks so freaking good there. And then here's the thing. From here on in, she says Bankai in the lower part here. And then does Minazuki. Studio Pierrot, you could not have animated this better. There's no way it could have been animated better. It looks so freaking, the voice actress, the way she says Bankai and the way her voice changes and becomes so like sickly, sweet, sinister. Oh, the chills. And the way she takes her hand and scrapes it across the blade. I mean, it looks so badass in the manga, but the shot of her running her hand across it and the blood. And basically she did a domain expansion right here with it. They did so good. Playtime is over and her eyes just like done. Dunzo. And so, of course, they added more to this battle. She looks incredible. Like every shot of them, they were just like, let's just go all out. And as they're fighting in this giant pool of blood, oh my God. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to do. I don't get what her Bankai is supposed to do. I don't remember what her Bankai is supposed to do. I might look that up here in a hot second. But yeah, he's like, I'm melting away. I do love the idea, and maybe her Bankai is just to entrap you in this space where all you can do is battle. It like heightens the sense and ecstasy of battle to its highest potential. That could be it, because I loved Kubo's like metaphorical, like making them skeletons, because a skeleton motif has always been part of Kenpachi from the very beginning. Like it's like every fan art, or not fan art, but every official like AU art that Kubo did with Kenpachi, there was like a skull motif somewhere on there. And to see it all come here with both of them being skeletons fighting, it feels very like Captain Jack Sparrow and Barbossa locked in an epic battle until the end of time. Like, it feels so good. And it's like, this is battle. And the title page of volume 59 is Battle is Everything. No period. Just battle is everything. There's no punctuation because it's never ending. That's where we're at. The moment she said, hey, did you know, though, I was like, she's going to die. I love fighting. I knew it probably before you did. And I think that if you were going to ship the two of them, the part where it says, you learn to restrain yourself in order to enjoy fighting forever. I learned to heal myself in order to enjoy fighting forever. I'm like, okay, I see it. She's like, but I'm pretty sure I gained this power for this exact moment. I'm greedy and I want her to be able to live. I'm like, why can't we have Unohana and Kenpachi? Why can't we have both? Why not? Why does she have to die? Why does one of my favorite characters in the whole series have to die when she just got to be badass? Why? Why does it have to be? I know there's only one Kenpachi, but it's not fair. I also feel like Kubo, here's the thing. I feel like, at some point Kubo was like, okay, I don't know what else to do with Unohana's character. She's amazing. She can heal. She has this big-ass manta ray that you can ride on. But also, she has this battle part to her. But now that that's been revealed, what else can we do with her? Her and Kenpachi can't exist at the same time because he's going to be restrained by her presence and her existence. And she can't go all out because of X, Y, and Z. So Kubo's like, I have to kill her. It just has to happen. But I was so mad when it did because I was like, no, we just got to meet her. And to be fair, we got a little bit of fighting in the manga, but I don't feel like we got as much as we did in the anime. So at least they went all out and gave us like a proper fight. And I'm sorry. Also, if you were shipping Unohana and Kenpachi, I could understand because the moment she's like, you were the only man in this world to bring me joy. And I was like, okay, all right. Not him as a kid, as a man, as a damn man. She was the only one to bring him joy. That looks amazing. Love that shot of her there. And then the thing that got me is that when she like drops her sword in that moment, he like, the way that he jumps at her and grabs her to catch her, I was like, okay, I see the ship. I see the vision. I see the ship and the vision. And the fact that he's like, don't die. And I'm like, don't be like this now. Why you give me a doomed ship, Kubo? Why you give me a doomed ship? It was dead on arrival. Why would you do that? Just like, rejoice for me as I pass away. She looks so beautiful there. Like, she looks absolutely gorgeous with her blue eyes and her hair. I cannot. Yep. You have a partner who's awakened alongside you. Now, if you've read the manga, you know who this partner is. And what a twist that is. That's something I'm like, I'm waiting for the anime to go back to because I'm like, we need to talk about that. And then we saw this guy who was a captain back and turned back the pendulum. And, there's the one shot we get is of Kenpachi with little Yachiro on his shoulder. We'll just have to come back to that. We're going to come back to that. Mm-hmm. But now it's not the time. I forgot that Kubo left us on a cliffhanger. Whenever he's like, my name is, and everybody's like, is it Yachiro? Is Yachiro your blade? Is it? We'll see. So then we have the last chapter that we get for this episode is chapter 527, which is Eliminate from Heaven, which is essentially Ichigo getting kicked out. And he's like, you gotta go home. I will say this. In the manga, they make Ichigo look absolutely heartbroken. Like that panel right there, Ichigo looks like he's just shitting his pants. Because he's just like, what do you mean? What do you mean I didn't pass the test? I cannot take Cone. I'm like, you should have left him back there with the honeys and they could have sliced him up. You could have done that. You could have done that. That would have been really good. But yeah, he's like, I don't make swords. I really want I don't make swords for losers to be on a bumper sticker. I really need that. So yeah, we get the after credit scene. And Ichigo did not pass. And so Oetsu is like, I can't make you a sword. I can't reforge Zangetsu for you. You've got to go. And he sends him away. And then he says here, the one line I think they added was, you know, you've got to go learn about your past, even if knowing your roots can mean you can never return. Because, you know, if you're related to the Quincy's, they might not let you come back since, you know, they're the sworn enemy. And that one Squad Zero member, she said they were worse than Aizen. So, you know, you might not be able to come back. I don't know. He's going to come back. But not yet. He's got to go learn about his past at home, right? Damn. I don't make stuff for fake Soul Reapers. Which should have been a hint all along. He's like, should have been a hint all along. He's like, you've been a substitute Soul Reaper this entire time. It should make sense I can't create you a sword. We're going to talk about that next week. But he gets sent to the front of the Kurosaki Clinic. And there he be. I like they added the little heart saver thing onto the side of the door. I like they added that. The old Kurosaki Clinic. Let me tell you all. I really need you to understand how much I am excited. I'm really glad about this. Honestly, this volume and watching the anime adaptation has made me feel better about Unohana's arc, because when I read the manga, I was so sad. I was so sad that her character had died. I was so heartbroken, and I felt like we hadn't had enough time with her and Kenpachi. It wasn't done justice in my mind. I felt like the battle wasn't done right, and I do appreciate the anime adapting it the way they have and giving us what we needed. Like I felt more satisfied by that. So that is a win in my book, honestly. But you all, I don't think I can put into words the person I'm about to become next week. Next week is the final part of part 1, and it's amazing. We have 3 episodes. We have 3 to get through next week, y'all. 3 to get through. That's gonna be quite a long video, and I'm gonna have lots of things to say about it. It's gonna be loud. I'm gonna be giggling. I'm gonna be kicking my feet. Hopefully not kicking my dog, who's at my feet right now asleep. I'm gonna be just the most annoyingly giddy. So gird your loins, prepare thyself for that fangirling, because it's gonna be real. I've waited 10 years. I've waited my time, 12 years in Azkaban, to see Memories in the Rain. Everything but the rain. And I'm ready. I'm going to be ready. But anyway, I'm really excited to hear your thoughts. I wanted to look up really quick. Unohana's Bankai. Can we look that up? Is that allowed? It's just a pool of blood, right? Retsu Unohana. I don't want to look too far because I forget. I think she did. 1,000-Year Blood Work arc. She battles. I wish I knew about her Bankai. Her Bankai Minazuki. Yeah, it's just Minazuki. It's the same as her Zanpakuto, right? I don't, I don't really want to get too crazy into it because I'm afraid of spoilers, but we're not going to go back. My mod will kill me. But anyway, I don't know if her Bankai, if it just puts you in this little temporal space where all you can do is battle. I don't know if it does that or what it does. If somebody has access where it won't spoil me, that would be appreciated. Comment down below. Do your girl a solid. But anyway, I'm super excited for next week and the season finale of part 1. Oh my God, I'm so ready. But anyway, we've got to get there first. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. Oh my God, we are going to be back so soon, and I cannot wait for episodes 11 through 13. I may not be able to wait. I may not be able to wait until the next couple of comments. We'll just have comments for part 2 because I may not be able to wait. I may want to see it. So we'll see. But I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. And yeah, watch yourself because I'm going to be a hot mess next week when I look at Bleach episode 11 through 13 of the 1,000-Year Blood War. And I'll see you then. Bye.